Hello everyone, this is CJNovo992 and today we're back for the brand new video, and I'll be honest with you troops, I'm trying to keep it together right now because honestly it's an emotional one for me, as today is the day that we finally, and I mean finally, get to sit here and talk about a centre half. And if you give me the next 10 to 12 to possibly 14 minutes, that we will explain just why this guy isn't just a centre half, he's a proper centre half. Come on! Lift it! Apologies troops, I couldn't contain myself much longer. I will try to pocket and again hold in any and all proper references going forward, because I want to talk about this laddie lot, because for me this opens the door now, and this is a real conversation piece, not only in terms of the player but what it does for our team, because this has been a glaring issue not for this season but the last 2, 3, possibly 4. As again, if you watch the Goldson video and our previous upload when we talked about him leaving and we talked about the gap that's left and how year upon year we have regressed and went backwards as a football club and neglected the centre back position, getting pieces here and pieces here that weren't good enough, if we're being brutally honest with you. We really broke down just how we have went down over the last 6 years. Well, for me, this is the first centre back that I'm going to be looking at and we're going to be discussing right here on the channel, since a lot of those players that are no longer at the football club is left, that I'm sitting here saying, right, the standards I went up here. But if I'm honest with you, I really want to get into this one because again, it's a position I feel like we'd be badly needing to improve, and it's just an excitement, it's a weight off my shoulders. I feel like we were constantly neglecting the area. So we're going to dive into it. If you don't mind hitting the like button at any point, that'd be greatly appreciated. If you feel this video's worth it, or if you think this channel's worth it, go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already, as we're trying to reach 70k. Whilst we go ahead and try to earn that subscription, let's dive in to the old player profile. Robin Pröpper, which is ironic troops, because if you consider the situation both Rangers and Twente have found themselves in, they have bought Sam Lammers for us for money troops, and we've went air and took their captain. That there is Robin. That's right, you thought it was going to be a proper reference, but I got you, that's the old switcheroo. Now obviously the pronunciations does change and vary from site to site. You've got Pröpper, you've got Proper, or whatever you want to call him, and it's certainly not me being disrespectful. We'll wait to see how he goes ahead and introduces himself now here, as it's a slightly different pronunciation over in Dutch football. So we're going to call him Robin here just to stop any confusion, and I actually want to dive into it because again, we are looking and sitting here talking about a guy that is a centre half that's 6'3", that can get up and is known for winning his aerial duels. It is genuinely a dream come true. And but again, the word centre half and centre back doesn't really necessarily narrow down what type of player he is, because it can vary now. You know what I mean? It's the modern game, it's the European style and everything. Most centre backs now's best attributes are everything but defending. Trust me, Rangers fans know, we've signed plenty of them over the last couple of years, and it's all about being ball carriers and being able to do this and run into midfield and do this and do this. And it makes me so happy that I get to sit here and say we've actually brought a centre back into this football club whose best attributes of being a defender is actually defending. And again, you didn't need me to sit here and explain what a difference that'll make to the back line, but he's got more to his game than just that, as well as he is actually comfortable on the ball. Now, he is naturally right-footed, but he's very comfortable with passing with both foot. Maybe that's grown up in Dutch, coming through the Dutch style of football. He's very comfortable with the ball at his feet. I wouldn't say he's going to be the exact boy that's going to run through and beat people around that, but he's got that long diag, and I think the long diag that you see in a lot of the clips and see in a lot of highlights will instantly bring people to say, well, there we are, there's the Connor Goldson replacement. And again, I can see that on a surface level because of that long diag that he's got, and the fact that Pröpper is definitely a mouthy centre half. You know what I mean? He gets in there. I mean, he's known for arguing with referees, slowing games down, maybe the dark arts in that aspect as well, of just calming it down, letting his team get a breather, going to speak in the referee, calming everything down, winding people up when he needs to push buttons as well. He's certainly vocal, and that should make a difference again to Suter and Ben Davies. So he does tick that box as well with Goldson in terms of being mouthy, but it's beyond that for me. And I think if you look at the way he goes about his business in terms of the actual art of defending, I would say he's closer to Hollander than he is to Goldson, despite again being the clickbait that suit there. Because if you think of Hollander, right, besides the fact that he's Robin's mouthy and Hollander never was, you think of Hollander, you very rarely saw his lack of pace exposed. And look, I'm not sitting here doing a puff piece on a player pretending he's a world beater. This guy is not a quick centre half. He's not fast at all. His biggest weakness is his lack of pace. But again, just like Lander, who could actually read a game of football, Robin very rarely puts himself in a position where his pace is actually exposed. It's the way he reads a game that's going to be the biggest asset to this football club, and again, one of his best attributes. He's mouthy, he's loud, he does this and he does that, aye, but what he actually does better than anything is defend. And I dare to say, and I know these things usually go wrong or can go wrong, is you'll very rarely see him in an out sprint besides the occasional run back for set piece, and it might look a bit gangly right there, but he puts himself in a position where again his lack of pace isn't a hindrance to this team. He knows where they want to go, he knows where he needs to be, and he usually finds himself in the right position. That's not me sitting here talking about as a Rangers fan, that's reading what he's done year upon year upon year over in Dutch football and how he's impressed. He just reads the game and he puts himself in a position to win the ball cleanly by either on his feet or going to the ground. Sometimes winning the ball not cleanly and taking his man picking up a very deserved yellow card, and trust me, he's took a lot of them in his career as well. Or what I absolutely love is a lost art in today's game where everyone's best pals and social media buddies and everybody's following each other and everyone being all sunshines and rainbows. If he can't get the ball cleanly or uncleanly, if he can't get there to make a challenge, he'll just yank the boy out his t-shirt, pick his yellow card, smile as he does it, help him up, jog back and help defend the set piece, you know what I mean? He's got that nastiness in him that if someone's running away and his pace is exposed, there's your yellow card, you're no beating us on a counter. Something we've not really spoken about in detail is his leadership qualities, and honestly it's something that comes up a lot when you're using a lot of Google Translate for this guy. Right here it's leadership, it's physical, it's leadership, it's defending, it's leadership, and obviously he came as a former captain, ladies and gentlemen, of FC Twente, and helped them reach third in the league. He helped push the standard in there, and that's what you're hearing for a lot of the players. That's how you hear about the managers talking about how much of a leader he is in the dressing room and the standards he sets each and every single day. And aye, that's badly needed in this football club, and it's probably the experience that Clement's been wanting to bleed into the dressing room with certain characters leaving and certain big personalities gone. Well, you brought in someone, rightly or wrongly, who's got a very big personality as well and is a fiery competitor. But again, I didn't see any issues in that. That's how I want my dressing room. I want people holding accountability. I want people driving standards, and we've clearly got that, as he's got an experience of driving and leading his squad year upon year upon year. And the last little thing we need to talk about is actually his position, because I'm sure a lot of you are hearing, yes, it's great hearing he's a defender, but is he Davies' partner? Is he John Souttar's partner? Or is he going to be someone else's partner that's possibly getting brought in? And it's a good question. Honestly, I wish I had an answer for it, because he is both-footed, ladies and gentlemen, and he has over his career played left centre-back and he's right. Again, he just reads the game so well. He's been able to go and facilitate that spot on the park depending on who's available next to him or what he's needing to play with or who they have signed. Whether it's being a right centre-back, he's then moved to left centre-back. If they went ahead and got a left centre-back, he's went to right centre-back. And again, his standards have never changed. It is just solid, solid, solid. And the consistent numbers that he continuously fires out with his defensive statistics are again so damn impressive, considering he's playing two different positions. And we've seen with our very own eyes how one player can look in this position but move him there and he looks awkward and he's falling over and everything like that. We've seen it with big soapy Big John Souttar. That's no this lad at all. He can go anywhere, and that's again just a bit of a class and a tip of the old cap to how well this man reads a game. So truly, I wish I could give you an answer, but it's going to be a question that's fired to Clement a lot, and it's on him if he's gone ahead and playing at Tynecastle where he's going to go forward. Is this his Davies' partner? Is this Big John, who I think it's actually going to be, if I'm honest, I think it is going to be Soapy's partner at the minute? Or will we bring someone else in, move the back line about? You just never know. But again, the fact that he's comfortable and can cover both positions, considering how we are, again, with form-wise, with our centre-backs and injuries, is a very, very good place to be. But I do want to move on to the old numbers and stats, because that's going to back up a lot of the things we've been talking about so far. And I think going into this one, troops, you know, we've done a lot of player profiles, not only this summer, but going into last summer's rebuild and looking at a lot of players that have maybe been in a bad spell of their career, bad form, maybe moved to a bad team in terms of the systems, no be working, or had injuries, and that's kind of what we've had to talk about. So it's a bit different for me here, and it's actually quite nice to sit and talk about a player who isn't on the back of anything like that, that's coming into this football club ready, fit and playing really good football at the top of his game, ready to compete and challenge and help this team right away. As again, he helped his squad and he captained his squad to 3rd place last season, which was a great result in there. And again, if you check his match reports and what people were saying about him, he was one of the main reasons for that. He was a real heartbeat and a real leader to help his team reach that spot. He played 40 games in all competitions, scoring 3 goals, which is something he actually does, troops. You know what I mean? He's in a danger in the air. The amount of goals that he's scored in his career is actually very, very nice. And it's not just headers, by the way. He's actually still scored some screamers from Rangers, believe it or not, because he is so bay fighting and because he has an absolute cannon. And he did play centre forward early in his youth career and even played 1 game up front in his actual overall career. The boy's got a cannon in the leg and he scored some outside the box. So again, we're getting actual threat, what we're badly needed. But again, goals aren't necessarily what everybody actually wants. So in those 40 games, he kept and helped keep 14 clean sheets, whilst picking up his traditional 9 yellow cards. Again, I expect to see this man boot quite a lot, and again, he is a bet builder's dream, if you actually will. And that standard that he set wasn't a one-off and then we're going ahead and buying it. Oh, we're buying a 30-year-old guy that spent his entire time in Dutch football because he won good season. Any narrative that you might have or preconception that you've heard for this guy, the longer you watch today's video, it should be blown out of that, because he isn't just on the back of one good season, because he played just as good the year before when he played 39 games in all competitions, scoring 3 goals, grabbing 2 assists again, and being a part of 17 clean sheets, helping to drive the standard, helping to push his team forward on his way of picking up 11 yellow cards as well. And we could go back even the further year than that, troops, and we could continue year upon year upon year. You'll see similar appearances, similar statistics, similar clean sheets, similar defensive stats. This man is a defender, and he's been it his whole year, and that there is that, troops. No world beater, no anything less, no up and down, no, he's just that. And that for me is very exciting as a Rangers fan, because too many times I've seen defenders do this at this football club. Having someone that's just consistent and cares more about defending than anything else, it's good for me. But before we do look at his overall footballing CV, let's have a wee look at the injuries then, shall we? Because we all know that's an important piece to the puzzle as well, and it's something that, again, it's getting fired out, or potentially could be fired out. But this lad, oh, we're getting a 30-year-old who's got a wee bit of injury history. Well, let's look at the injury history. And again, on paper, it looks a Rangers player, but if you actually look into the details, then he get lost on it. He's only had 1 major injury in his overall career that made him miss an entire season of football. That was 6 years ago, troops. Since then, it's been little niggles, little knocks. It's only made him miss 1 game over the last 4 years. Now, there has been 1 game in the one season, where he missed 3 games, but that was 5 years ago. What are we talking about? Why am I seeing injury claims and everything like that? You know what I mean? It's absolute nonsense. Sorry that he got pneumonia, and sorry that he was ill one time, making him miss 1 game, but the rest of it is all just all go all the time, playing games, playing minutes, playing through knocks and injuries. It's only been wee things here or there when he's been rotated out, and honestly, he's been on the bench for most of the games that he actually missed. So again, if he was badly needed, he'd have probably played through some of the illnesses and some of the wee niggles and knocks, but he's just been managed probably to stop himself playing and hurt himself even further. So I think we need to always also rubbish the injury prone claims. He's had 1 major injury 6 years ago in his entire career at the age of 30. That's not bad, especially as Rangers fans looking at a Rangers target. We've seen a lot worse. Usually, we sign them for a lot more. So we've got to the part of the video we're now starting to realise we've got a defender whose best attributes are defending, somebody that will take no nonsense in the backline, that can handle the physicality and has a bit of threat from range, that does chip in with goals here or there, who's a natural leader and helps drive the standards, and he's not an injury-prone, crooked player. What is this? But to finish up the old numbers and stats properly, at the age of 30 years old, he has played a total of 378 games in his career. Again, not taking any of the youth stuff or anything like that into consideration, in which he has scored 30 goals. If I've actually got somebody that can header the football again, I could greet. He's chipped in with a cheeky 17 assists, which is not too bad for a defender, and he's been booked 78 times. Troops, yeah, he'll pick up a lot of yellow cards. Now he has, speaking of yellow cards, received a double yellow card 3 times in his career and received 2 straight red cards. And that is the tail of the tape regarding the numbers. For those that love the numbers, there's your big no-nonsense leading centre-back that isn't injury prone and can put himself about and score some goals. I know, you can see why I was so happy at the intro. And the last little thing I want to talk about isn't the details regarding the actual deal, because you know, watching this channel, that doesn't bother me. You know, we undisclosed this, it's this much, it's this much. You put in this number, you'll find a reporter here saying that, a reporter there. It's all just smoke screens that doesn't interest me. No club actually tells the true value of what you actually spend these days. But where I want to go is the old competition for places, and it sort of echoes what we mentioned earlier on in the video. Because this man is so flexible, playing both left centre-back and right centre-back, I'm not 100% sure who he's skipping in front of the queue, but I'll tell you something right now, he is truly skip roping his way to being CB #1 as it stands when I'm currently recording today's video. Because again, form, everything you could want for a centre-back you're getting. Again, the only minus point is the lack of pace, and we do play with a high line, so we could maybe get lost in that. But again, that's on the manager to protect that and to play properly. That's what the great Rangers managers did, play to advantages, cover the weaknesses. And again, the way he plays the game as well, he doesn't put himself in a position where you see the big laddie having to actually go ahead and sprint. So I'm excited to see where this goes. I'm excited now for the first time in a while about the defence finally taking a step forward, in my opinion, the first step forward in about 4 years for the football club. So interesting to see where it goes, but I'll back him wherever it goes. Left centre back, right centre back, it doesn't matter. We need the leader in there. And again, I really hope we see him at Tynecastle. You could talk about throwing himself into deep end, no, this crap and everything like that, but we need to get away from waiting for players to get up to speed. The speed's no working, Phil. Alright, we're no winning things enough. We need to stop trying to peep people in there. We're bringing them in for a reason. Put them in there. Let's not lose silly goals at Tynecastle. Let's not beat ourselves with this. Let's just put the lion in the lion's den, if you actually will, and see how it gets on. And again, a centre-half should be able to get flung in there and start swinging. I think Leon Balogun at Aberdeen was probably the last centre-back I remember dropped right in there, and the boy was headering goalposts. That's what a defender can do. Just let him go in and scrap and feel what this league's all about. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. That's how I feel regarding Robin. What about you? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down there in the old comment section below. Is this it regarding the centre-back, or will Robin get his Batman in terms of the back line? I guess we'll find out. But until then, I've been CJ Over92. Thank you so much for watching. All the best, and bye-bye.